Good morning. Welcome to Danny Designs D Squared. Appreciate it. Today is a Monday, March. What is it? 6th? 5th, 6th. Today's the 8th. Today's the 8th. March 8th, 2021. Been a while as far as filming stuff for the channel. I want to show you what I'm doing. And you know, I've talked about, building my house and doing all that good stuff. Well, there's other things you do too. I don't just build, cut down trees and mill my own lumber. Me and my parents, my sister, have decided, we want to grow a garden. Save some money, growing our own food. We know exactly what's in it and all that good stuff. So I did a little bit of this last year. I don't know if I showed any of it. I might have. Let me just kind of walk you through the process. First thing we're doing is creating our own dirt, mulch, composting pile, stuff like that. Let me show you what we're starting off with. We went and got some peat moss, some manure, fertilizer, however you want to call it. About enough where we're going to start just mixing this, and this is sawdust and just some mixed dirt off the property that came out of my garden area from last year. So it has some nutrients and all that good stuff. So I'm going to open up all these bags, mix all this together, and this will be the dirt, topsoil, whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to use on the garden this year, because we're adding the manure in there. Right here, next to it, is going to be another composting pile, which we're starting now. So by this time next year, it'll be ready. That, like I said, we're going to create. This will be composting throughout the next 365 days next year. So we won't be touching this, we'll just be mixing it. And I'm going to build some more boundaries, put one back there and one here, make it wide enough so I can use my backhoe to scoop the dirt if we want to. And also I'll use my bucket to mix all this up. And I'll show some of that here in a little bit. But once the composting pile starts and we keep adding to it, you're supposed to stir it. So I'll just use my backhoe bucket to kind of stir it instead of doing it by shovel in hand. Okay, so that's the first thing. I'm going to open up all these here in a little bit, start just putting it in there, and then I'll show you mixing that up. Because that's the dirt we're going to use this year. Now, what do I mean by the dirt we're going to use this year? Well, got this technique, I guess you'll call it, system, from Daniel Arms down in Sulphur, Oklahoma. He has a good channel, Arms Family Homestead, I think is what it's called. And he got it from a guy named Leon down in Kingston, Oklahoma. And Leon owns a gardening supply where you can just get tons of gardening stuff and ideas. And it's called a wick system. And just so you know, I'll just describe it and then I'll actually show it as I'm building one. You get yourself some perforated pipe, like so. This is out of one I used last year. So you get yourself a piece of perforated pipe. It's got to have holes in it. Because what you do is you set it down in there. And what I do is I'll show you, I actually cut up cloth, I use t-shirts, on the ends and zip tie them on there. And you got to have that because you don't want dirt to get inside of that perforated pipe, because that's what's going to hold the water. Then, and I'll show you this, like I said, here in a second. You have a wick or stem, smaller piece of PVC pipe. Make sure one of the ends is angled so that it won't fit flat down in there. Like I said, I'll show you all this here in a second as I'm doing it. You put this in here like so, so that when you put water in here, it'll go inside that reservoir there. It'll hold the water. You put dirt on top of that. Another thing you have to do is make sure you poke a hole, which I have in this one already, so that the water level won't get too high, you know, because it'll rain and fill these buckets up, and if it doesn't have a way to drain, it'll drown your plants. So this is what I'm getting ready to do. Obviously I'm going to do the dirt mulch pile first. We'll transfer that dirt inside these buckets, and then you water this. And if you know, the point behind this is you don't have to water your garden every single day, because when you put water on the ground, it seeps down. Some of it goes to the plant, but a lot of it will just run off, or the plant won't get it. So this is a way to make sure the plant gets all of the vitamins, all of the nutrients and stuff that you're going to put in the water, in the soil. It'll stay and use it. It won't just leak out and blend into the ground. So anyway, I've got, you know, 8 of the black ones there. I think what I have here, 8 of these. I've got 4 of the purple right there, and I've got some red ones just like that in my truck. I got 12 of those. So we have plenty of buckets. Probably won't even use them all. And then we're going to put together a greenhouse this summer, so that going into the winter we'll have a greenhouse available. So that's what I'm going to show you today, is the process of opening those bags, putting the manure and stuff all together, mixing it up with the backhoe, and then I'll build one of those wicking systems on camera. It's not exactly like Leon does it and Daniel Arms. It worked for me. They use potting cloth, some type of gardening cloth, you know, that keeps the weeds and stuff out, and they just put it in the, you go to their channel and look at that if you're interested. But I did this last year, and because I had all these old t-shirts, you know, they're just cloth, and I redo them. I'm going to redo them every year. You may not have to if you do it Leon's way and Arm's way, but I'm just going to dump the dirt out every year and put more vitamins and more stuff in it, and using the compost pile, and kind of alternate back and forth with the soil that I'm going to use, and stack the buckets up and all that good stuff. I don't know that they do it that way, but it worked. Because I got their idea, I didn't make it better, I just changed it a little bit. And you know, there's going to probably some things that aren't perfect about it, but it worked. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. So I'll push this on pause, get all my tools together, and show you what I'm getting ready to do. Okie doke. Well, again, you can see what I'm going to do here is just bust these bags open and just pour it in here and then mix it. I already got some ash from my fireplace. That's okay. This stuff right here needs to go over to the compost pile. You see there's sticks in here, which we'll start pulling that out when we start transferring planting to the other, to the buckets. So just getting that stuff out of there. Again, I'm just gonna knock open a bunch of these bags, start mixing it in. Not in any certain order, because the backhoe is going to stir it around. So now just this, get all the manure out, just put them there. I'll pick those up in a second. Kind of boring. This is what I'm going to show you. Just a little bit. There's that. This is the bag of the peat moss. bale of hay. So, I know the wind's blowing a little bit, so it may get dusty. Wind's kind of blowing this way, so I think I'm gonna put the camera over there, just so the dust doesn't blow into the camera. What I'm getting ready to do is use my backhoe, which you can see I started, warm up. I'm just gonna slowly mix this up. I don't like the camera over here because it's facing east and you'll have the sun, but let me see if I can get it so that's not bad, I don't think. Anyway, so I'm gonna go get the backhoe, start mixing this up a little bit. Move this shovel out of the way. All right. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm gonna just mix all that up. You saw the dust fly over there and hit Mom, so that's why I moved it on this side. So anyway, I'm gonna finish getting all this all mixed up. Okay, back with you later. All right, what I did, we had some good topsoil up by a pond, and I went and got a bucket of this good sandy type topsoil. This is soil I dug out the bottom of a pond and put on the side to make the pond a little deeper and wider and stuff. So it's good topsoil. It's not like sand rock or anything. So I'm gonna pick these sticks out and then I'm gonna keep mixing it up. And I'll just keep mixing it with the bucket like I showed you at the beginning. So, all right, I won't bore you with all that, but that's what I've done with that. That's why there's some different colored dirt in there, some topsoil. And that's what I meant by creating our own. We're just gonna make our first pile, you know, out of the stuff we have here. And of course we bought the manure, bought the peat moss, but from this point on we shouldn't have to do that. That's the plan anyway. Okay, out. Okay, now I need to put this so that you can see. I'm gonna do it just in the top of the bucket on this one. Show you what I'm doing. I got a t-shirt and I just cut the bottom part off like so. And then here's the top part of this right here. Put it over the top like so. Get some zip ties to go around the shirt. Pinch it down on top of that like so. And then I'll cut those off. My wire cutters are over there, but I'll just cut those off. And then turn it upside down. And I'll use the other t-shirt right there that Mom's getting ready to throw to me. And what I'll do here is the same thing, except this part of the t-shirt I left the sleeve. And you'll see why here in a second, why I left the sleeve. So I pull this down, the sleeve like so. I use another zip tie, and we use two together like that to make it long enough. You can buy the long ones if you want. Zip tie that down there like so. Now, what am I going to do with this? Well, what I'm going to do with that is probably use shorter zip ties. Remember I said you want one of these cut at a bevel so that it'll never be flat. And adjust this like so. Just make sure I got plenty of slack so I can adjust it. Get my zip tie, make sure that there's no way dirt can get in there. Zip tie this down tight.
Dirt can't get in your pipe.
So that way, yeah, the dirt won't get in my pipe and fill it up. And then I'll set this. And then, you don't have to worry about the cloth being over those holes because water's going to go through the cloth, which is the whole purpose. Set it down in here like so. Adjust it so that it's flat. And there you go. Now I told you earlier, I already drilled the hole, which is right here. And from my understanding, it doesn't matter where the hole is in relation with the spout or spigot or anything. So then we'll just put dirt on top of there. So we'll go ahead and do that right now, just to show you what we're doing. We're gonna do 3 buckets today. And I'm gonna put it in my backhoe just so we don't have to carry them. So then, just so you know, we just get our good soil and just start putting it in there. And I'll go slow at first. And I'll show you the 3 once we get all 3 of them done with this and the steps from this point. Okay. Gonna stop for now. And then I'll fix these other 3 up and then we'll put the dirt in there.